The Expanse season 2 episode 5 for me is one of the most beautiful episodes we've gotten in the show. And I say this as someone who gasped when the novel was first released. Because the beauty of home is the safety we get when we return to it. And that is what is propelling protomolecule Julie in the episode. A desire to go back home. And for me, it made so much sense and came full circle that is the episode's title that we were given. Because you see, this is the episode where Julie wants to go back home, where Miller finds home, and where protomolecule Julie welcomes him home. Now, I'm not about to pretend that Miller's relationship with Julie was in any way healthy or sane. From what we get to glean through the first 2 seasons, we know that Miller is someone that is spiraling and Julie was his port in the storm. There's something unhealthy and one-sided about the codependency that brought him to that point, but it's also a source of strength for Miller. From the first time we're introduced to Josephus Miller, he is a Walla Walla, a traitor to his people, one who they spit at and can never respect, someone who's decided that rather than be the ass that would be kicked all over the place, he would follow his childhood friend Sema Timber's urging and become the boot instead. Miller spent his years rising up in his position with Star Helix, the Earth-supported security firm that is the law on series. And he's built quite the cushy life for himself as well, accepting bribes and kickbacks to turn the other eye away from the atrocities being committed against his fellow Belters. But he does have a soft, small spot for the kids and young adults who live on the station, as is aware of just how tough life is for them. Whether he's suffocating the irresponsible owner who refuses to clean out the filters, or he's setting Diogo Harari free for stealing water, those moments merely show that Miller does have some smidgen of humanity buried somewhere within him. But rather than disturb the status quo, which would in turn remove the safety of being a boot from him and turn him into the ass that is available for everyone to stomp on, he chooses to ignore it instead. Or at least he did until he was given the case to locate Juliet Andromeda Mal. The search for Julie is what then becomes the jolt in Miller's system as it slowly evolves from being a man who was initially dismissive of her with a derision of his belief that she was just undergoing a rebellious stint and would be moving back home pretty soon, to someone whose dismissal slowly becomes respect as he realizes that Julie Mao really is putting herself and her life on the line to help the Belters. Something that bowls him over, as here is someone for whom security and safety is guaranteed. She is the youngest and beloved daughter of Jules Pierre Mao, after all, with all the money and power and comfort that comes with, who is giving it all up because she wants to do good by the Belters. And so she becomes his North Star, a privileged Earther princess who he finds himself obsessed with finding and falls in love with the idea of her along the journey. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not here to say that Miller and Julie's relationship was in any way right or sane. It is clear that he's slowly losing his mind and Julie is the only one keeping him focused and sane. But I think in a lot of the conversation about Julie and Miller's relationship, a lot of people tend to skip over what they both mean to each other. And before you say it, yes, I know, the entire love story was one-sided. Miller fixated on her, on saving her. She was the tenuous hold he had on his mind. And even until her dying, she never once met him. She doesn't know who he is. But it doesn't mean that what they meant to each other, even though they never actually met, didn't matter. Like I've said, Julie is Miller's North Star. She is his port in his storm, the only one that helps him stay the course as he tries to chart his way towards doing right and seeking redemption to help his fellow Belters, who prior to Julie's entrance into his life, he had sacrificed for the safety he got from conforming to and working with Star Helix. I think there's something quite symbolic about how his search for Julie steadily takes over Miller's home back on series. She's everything and everywhere. She's the only one he sees, the one he's obsessed with finding, with figuring out. And when he's figured out that she's way more than he had first thought and expected, her influence starts to spread to even affect him personally and his choices and his decisions. Julie, on the other hand, wants nothing more than to find a way home. By the time we get to home, the episode I mean, and we get to fully meet protomolecule Julie, we see that Julie's consciousness, which the protomolecule had absorbed to become what is piloting and controlling Eros as it sought its evolution, Julie's consciousness was still caught in the pain and fear at the moment of her death. Now, I want you to take your mind back to the events leading to Julie's death. The reason why Miller was so pissed at Fred Johnson, at the leaders of the OPA for whom Julie had sacrificed everything, even her life, and all she had wanted at the end was for one of them to find her and come save her. They never did. Fred Johnson, in his defense, had no idea and did send help, but Anthony Hawes knew and did not care. She died, terrified and scared, waiting for anyone to come save her to take her home. And so there's quite the significance to me watching Home, the episode, as Miller makes his way to the nucleus of Eros Station and sees protomolecule Julie, with Julie's consciousness still stuck on her desperation to get home because at home she's safe. Of course, this drive by protomolecule Julie would have meant the death of billions on Earth if Eros had achieved Julie's goal of taking her home. However, Miller gets to step in to let Julie know that he's found her, that someone has come, someone is here with her, and she's not alone anymore. But unfortunately, she cannot go home. Going home would mean a lot of people on Earth would die, and that is not something that Julie would want. Instead, he suggests that she takes Eros to Venus instead. That she has nothing to worry about, as whatever happens to her happens to him as well. And they kiss, with protomolecule Julie telling Miller that he belongs with her. Like I said, I find the episode a beautiful one and just a culmination of the bizarre beauty of Julie and Miller's relationship. She saved him from the humdrum that was life on series, where he lived without any conviction. She gave him purpose and he saved her. He brought her back to safety and stayed with her, offering his life, his own consciousness to pass along with her. And I don't know, but that does get me in the gut. These are two characters who never met. One of them was obsessed with finding the other and trying to save her. And even though he failed one Julie, he didn't fail the other. Sure, they didn't meet each other until after Julie's death, and the Julie that Miller ends up dying with is Julie's consciousness, but not the Julie he wanted to save, because that Julie is dead. However, he was still able to give protomolecule Julie the comfort, the safety she had been craving and yearning for, whilst the actual Julie died in that hotel room. And with protomolecule Julie, Miller gets to perform his final act of saving lives, something he's not thought himself capable of ever since he and Sematimba decided back on Eros to become the boot instead of the ass. Julie made Miller a better person, and Miller in turn was able to show his gratitude to Julie by making the active choice to die by her side, which in turn led protomolecule Julie to accepting Miller. Thus, he became one with her. I think a lot of the discourse that focuses on the weirdness of the relationship ignore the fact that, one, it wasn't really sexual in that nature. I mean, other than the kiss we get in Home, Miller never has a moment that feels overtly sexual in his thoughts about Julie. Instead, she's more like something he believes in, that inspires him to do good and be more selfless in his actions, making choices to help others rather than the selfishness that has been how he's lived his life up until that point. And two, the fact that Miller and Julie both need each other. Miller needs Julie to be the best version of himself, someone who is capable of saving others rather than merely thinking about himself. And Julie needs Miller to come save her, as no one else was doing that. And what makes their relationship beautiful to me is the fact that they both do just that. They both give each other what the other person needs. And we got it by not being weird or sexual. But instead, it's a relationship where two lonely souls call out to each other and meet in a way that is facilitated by an extraterrestrial being. And I don't know about you, but that's something that would always make me smile, even as I'm sad. Because there's a part of me that still wished that the Juliet Andromeda Mao, who had a physical body, got to learn that someone came all the way from Ceres, almost got himself suffocated, and still persisted in order to save her and bring her home. And yet there's a part of Julie, a Julie that knows that because her consciousness is fused with the protomolecule, infecting it just as it infected her. And she gets to see and meet Miller as a result of that and become one with him. And it's sad. It's beautiful. It's bizarre. But maybe that's just me, of course. Maybe your thoughts and opinion on this are totally different from mine. I would, as always, love to hear those thoughts. Please do drop them down in the comments. Like this video if you've watched this far and haven't done so yet. Share this if you want. Support me on Patreon if you can. If you can't, however, consider checking out my other channels. I have a channel dedicated to me playing video games if that's more your thing. Or if you're one of the people who finds my voice soothing, you can check out my ASMR channel. I have the links to all of them in the description box. So do check it out. And until tomorrow's video, do remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.